Hello and welcome to the Burns Unit podcast. I am Martin Byrne. I'm joined by my producer, Chris Gallagher. Hello, Chris.
Hi there, how you going?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. Producer, co-creator, overall
Producer,
brain behind.
Look at after, I would say.
Look at that.
Are you excited about this podcast?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think you're a talented young man.
Oh, stop it, you.
I think I'm a talented young man.
You are.
Yep, thank you. Stop it, you.
Exceptionally.
Well, thank you very much.
On you go, sir.
At the same time.
Really hate each other.
Yeah, joking aside, I think you've got some amazing stuff lined up, and you've done really well in terms of interviewing some unbelievably talented people. And I had the chance to sit in and help and produce this episode.
It's very exciting. Mark Nelson,
tremendous guy, really nice, very talented, knows his stuff in terms of comedy, the ins and outs, the psychology of it.
Very good joke writer as well. It's kind of tried to get into him, some of the joke, kind of how he writes and stuff.
Yeah, if you could just shut the fuck up when I'm speaking, that
Absolutely.
would be great.
Boundaries.
Mark was really good, and it was really good getting insight into how he works, and just in general, it was excellent.
I was a bit nervous at the start, though.
You do make a dick of yourself at the start.
I do. I sound like a scared child.
Well, maybe that's the inner Martin Byrne.
Coming through. Antidepressants aren't working.
Yeah, well.
Gotta suppress that, child.
Suppress the child. Suppress emotions.
Exactly.
Very west of Scotland, even though you're from Aberdeen.
How you meditate. That's how you're supposed to meditate. You suppress all your emotions.
Yeah, keep all the emotions down.
Pretty sure I'm doing it right.
Yeah, I think you're
I
nailing
think
it.
can go wrong. This episode's really cool. Good episode. He's always an actor I kind of admired, looked up to when I started, because he sort of does dark kind of one-liners and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I try to do. Fake modesty.
No, it's what you do.
Sometimes.
Do.
Let me be modest. No, I appreciate that. So I really like this interview, and I'm really looking forward to putting the podcast out in general. I think we've got some great guests. We've got Daniel Sloss, we've got Tom Stade. Who else do we have? We've got Viv G, we've got Raymond Mearns.
We've got you. At some
me.
point in the future, I'm
going to be interviewing me.
Yeah, I'm going to be taking the saddle and
talk about my comedy history.
Coming about, all that sort of stuff. Looking forward to that.
That should be good. Lots of insight, I think. Interviewed someone today, Stephen Dick, and he talks about what it's like to write for Ken Bridges and the technique and the process. And one thing I will say is some of them will be sort of this quality. And this is something I was worried about. Some of them will be this quality, and some of them will be like more sort of
on location.
Yes, so it'll be slightly less good, but still good.
But really,
compared to this, not. But if it was the first thing you'd hear, you'd think that's amazing quality for a dictaphone.
Yeah.
But then if you hear it after this, you're like, oh, fucking hell, what's happened?
Yeah, we talked before we started recording about how you wouldn't mention this, remember?
Oh, yeah, shit. Sorry.
Remember I told you to shut your fucking
mouth? Sort
this
out in post, as they say in the business.
Yeah, shut your mouth. No, I mean, obviously you've done a lot of stuff, a lot of the interviews, as I say, on location, and you've done terrific. And you can hear it fine, it's perfectly good. And it's all about just actually hearing what these people have to say. The quality can't always be studio quality. So on location and stuff, it's good. It's more honest.
An atmosphere as well, I think, like a different sort of context.
Martin, tell me about you've got a YouTube channel.
I do, Martin Byrne. It's got comedy stand-up sketches that I do. It's got me doing stand-up, and it's got short films that I've been in, that I've done.
Yeah. Any interesting short films you've done, Martin?
Yep, I done a film called Fish Soup. No, I done a film called The Boy with a Thorn in His Side, which is a very funny sort of 10-minute style, kind of Woody Allen type comedy. And I'm hoping to do more of them. Yeah,
who wrote and produced and directed that?
It was Mr. Christopher Gallagher, who's talking right now.
Oh, that's me.
Oh,
that's me. No, definitely check out The Boy with the Thorn in the Side. We did do Fish Soup, but I've actually got a cut of that. I still have all the footage. We could make something with that. I'm sure
there were funny moments in it, but as a piece altogether, it didn't quite gel.
I think that was down to filming schedules and stuff. But we could sort that out.
Problems.
Yeah, we've got. We could put some clips of that up and link it in with the podcast so that people can see some of your
actoring.
But some of your improv stuff, because the stuff that we did together was quite interesting.
Oh yeah, with the talking about women and how to date and stuff. And
yeah, I mean the improv, when you improv that, it wasn't great.
I thought it was a funny bit where I said, "What does this mean?" I was talking about photos from a. I don't know. We'll let you see it, doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I don't know if we will let you see it now, to be fair. But no, check out Martin on YouTube. Martin's Facebook is facebook.com.
Martin Byrne.
Martin Byrne. Twitter.
Comedy Martin.
Yeah, also at Bairns Podcast. Bairns Unit Podcast on Twitter also, and Bairns Unit Podcast on Facebook as well.
Very good.
Check them out. Give the Facebook a like. If you want to follow me, I'm at the Galatron on Twitter, and I have over 350 followers.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't you worry about that.
And how's your other podcast, The 90 Minute Cynic, going?
Oh, look at that. Cross promotion. Very nice. Thanks very much. Yeah, 90minutecynic.com, at 90 Minute Cynic. It's a football podcast. If you get any interest in football.
And football is the one where they kick it, or is that the one when they run with the ball?
It's both.
Really?
Yeah, it's both. You should have mentioned pick up.
Oh, okay, pick up,
So
right.
like
Goalies.
Oh, well,
That's
to be
in
fair,
football.
goalies, so that's football.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, check us out. Check us out, all the stuff we're doing. This is the first of many interesting podcasts. Martin has a very...
We've got about 15 of them already done.
Yeah, but you've got a very unique style in terms of one of the most laid-back styles I've ever seen. So laid-back that you don't give people the opportunity to go and pee.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah.
And even myself.
Yeah, even
I'm
yourself.
such a bloody professional.
Such a bloody professional.
But I'm learning on the job, though, aren't I?
You're
You're quite experienced podcast, and you're like, right, this is what you've done wrong, this is what you've done wrong. I was like,
I'm just trying to help and guide, try to pass on the knowledge, But
I do have a habit of just wanting people to keep talking.
No, I mean that you can understand that.
I'm passionate about the format, but the problem is people think, when's this going to be over?
Yeah, and also urinary tract infections may get you sued further down the line where people can't pee.
That's true.
That is true. But yeah, so check out at the Burns Unit on Twitter, facebook.com/ at the Burns Unit. Comedy Martin at Comedy Martin on Twitter, at the Galatron on Twitter, and I'll let Martin have the last word, but I think you're going to enjoy this terrific interview, and come back and subscribe on iTunes, and all the information will be on the Twitter. Martin?
Yeah, well, this is great, all this promotion. This is a skill that Chris is adding to it, which is great. I think this is going to be a really good podcast. Thank you, Chris. This is a really great interview with Mark Nelson. Thank you for your time, Mark, and we've also put a link to the charity that he's promoting that he talks about towards the end, which is very important. But yeah, it's a great chat. Thanks for listening, and enjoy. Hello and welcome to the Burns Unit podcast. I'm here with Mark Nelson. Hello.
Hello, Martin. How are
And I'm fine, and we're also joined by podcaster extraordinaire, Mr. Chris Gallagher.
Hi.
Also an acclaimed film director.
Acclaimed by my mum, yeah.
Directed a film up there called The Boy with a Thorn in His Side.
Oh, cool.
Which had me in it.
Yeah.
So.
Very
Podcast,
nice.
so just pointing isn't going to really help,
Yeah.
help the listeners, but thanks, Martin.
I thought you were watching Frozen when we first came in this flat.
It's terrific. It's one of the great Disney films of all time. That and Darby O'Gill and the Little People. Don't know if anyone's seen it.
Not seen that.
Nope. Okay, move on quickly.
Right, Mark, how are you?
I'm well. I'm okay.
What was the last place you gigged?
Last place I gigged, let me think actually. Was I gigging? I wasn't gigging last night. Where was I this weekend? Oh, I was in Birmingham. At Jongleurs. Actually, the last place I gigged was Sunday night in Irvine.
Oh, was that Billy Kirkwood's
For
gig?
Billy Kirkwood, yeah.
How was it?
It was alright. It was weird. Well, it was a good gig, and it was one of those kind of gigs where, because it's a small town, it was rammed. And it was a really, really good room, actually, and they've got a cracking thing going. And everyone did really, really well. And then I was headlining, and things were going grand. And then there was like a couple in the front row that were enjoying it and absolutely loving it. And then suddenly the woman just completely turned off, started checking her phone, fidgeting about, and like this. So I was like, right, something's happened. So I was fairly certain it was something I'd said. And but I didn't want to assume, so I checked and I said, "You all right?" And she went, "No." And I was like, "Right." So I was like, if she's had bad news because she was checking her phone, then there's very little rescue in this.
Yeah.
But I'm still 90% certain. And I said, "Well, what's up?" And she says, "I don't like I said, was it something I've done? And she went, yeah. And I was like, right, what was it then? And she said, I don't like fat jokes. And I kind of went, well, did I make a fat joke? And she went, yeah. And I was like, well, not really, because I made a joke. I joke about how I did Weight Watchers once, and I'm joking about how ridiculous a system Weight Watchers actually is. I didn't actually call anyone fat other than myself, but she heard the trigger word fat.
Was she fat?
She wasn't hugely fat,
robust.
But she was a prop. But she took massive offence to it, and then I don't know. I spoke to my wife about it when I came back, and she said she just left it. But then, by this point, it was really, really tense in the room. So I was like, right, I either kind of bail or I try and sort this out. And I just basically talked to her and said, like, how hypocritical she'd been by the fact that she'd laughed at stuff previously that didn't affect her, but other people would easily find offensive because it's far more offensive than any fat jokes. But because suddenly something came up that affected her, she then took that chance to be offended. So I said, you can't pick and choose.
And took it out in the room as well. So
she did take it out in the room because it was really, really, really tense. And then, to be fair, she says, you know what, I kind of deserved that. But through my mind, half of my brain was going, right, say this, and then they would have been just fat jokes, but then that would have been childish.
I heard a story about the Jim Muir, the Rev. He got heckled by a fat woman once, and he replied, "You're what Jack the Ripper calls 2 nights' work."
Yes, yeah. It was a weird thing to take offence at. Because had they there's some jokes in my set that are genuinely offensive, but if taking them, I would have no problem with it. But when it was something that wasn't offensive at all and was completely directed at myself and making me look like the fool and the victim, then she can't get offended at that. She's got absolutely no right to get offended at that.
Yeah, I remember doing a gig once to a bunch of police officers, and they got offended by my child porn joke that I do, and I thought that's fair enough.
Yeah.
And other times people get offended by, and you think that joke, that's like a pun.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, ridiculous.
It's the most pathetic thing, getting offended. Like the thing, because it was interesting when I came in, I put a thing up on Facebook, just kind of ranting and saying, like, if you're going to go to gigs, you don't get to pick and choose what you're offended by, right? If you're offended by everything, fair enough, right? Nobody can complain, right?
Yeah.
If you're offended by absolutely everything, nobody can complain. But you can't be offended. You can't laugh at a paedophile joke, or you can't laugh at something against somebody with a disability, or laugh where someone's taking the piss at a dwarf or something like that. But then when something comes in that affects you go, oh no, that's too far. Just because that's my personal problem, then that's too far. And then when I came in, when I'd put that, I noticed there was this thing about Stephen Fry at the BAFTAs.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Where he'd made the joke about...
she looked like a bag lady.
Yeah, she looked like a bag lady, but it was his friend. Like, they're friends in real life. And it's not that offensive a joke, but people on Twitter went mental.
It's a funny joke as well.
It's a very funny joke.
She's a costume designer for a BAFTA-winning film, and she looks like a bag lady.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she turned up to an awards ceremony looking like shit. And, which fair honour, like, and then he's come off Twitter now because so many people were going, "This is ridiculous that he's done this."
But don't you think that's a bit childish on his part coming off Twitter?
It is a bit, yeah. But I say that, but you don't know the abuse that you'd get.
If you're at that level of
if it was that barrage of abuse, I mean, like, you don't know yourself. Like, at the small level we're at, if someone wants to abuse you, you'll get it.
Yeah,
and that's hard enough to deal with. But if you had over, I don't know how many million of followers he's got, if even 10% of those people took offence and decided to tell him about it, it's just constant abuse.
But if you guys are on stage and just make a joke and it's offensive and someone gets offended by it, they're more likely to actually physically come at you. I mean, if someone tweets you and says, "Oh, you're an arsehole,"
as a keyboard warrior.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember I had a Christian lady charging towards me once, swearing at me for swearing. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But do you think when you start out, like when you first started, would it annoy you the kind of label of a dark comic? Does that kind of annoy you a bit?
It did for a wee while. There was a couple of months period where I kind of revelled in it because I was a bit immature, and I kind of went.
And you think when acts start out, they kind of just do it for a reaction, like rape jokes and stuff?
Yeah, it wasn't so much of that. It was because that's the kind of comedy I like, and they were proper jokes. There's a couple of things I've said that I regret saying, and I don't mind saying because there wasn't really any point to the joke other than to make childish, offensive joke, which I still thought was funny, and I still